Real quick, just a reminder to check out my movie channel. The link is in the description. I have videos on there about the new Alex Garland movie, Civil War. I have a Dune 2 review. I have, some tier list of guys like Christopher Nolan and David Fincher, and Alex Garland tier list is coming up. So be on the lookout for all that. Again, link is in the description, but back to your regularly scheduled video. All right, let's talk about Rams superstar wide receiver Cooper Kupp, who, obviously a couple years ago he had the unbelievable season where he, led the league in catches, yards, and touchdowns. He won Super Bowl MVP. Pretty good year, I would say. However, past couple years kind of had his injuries. I think a lot of people are wondering, how good is he still? Is he still that guy, or is he maybe just a good wide receiver? Well, let's get into it. Let's watch the film and talk about what he can do. So starting off with this play, this is a lot of what the Rams love to do with Kupp, is kind of, I feel like, use him the way a lot of teams use a not very good wide receiver. A lot of teams might use their, their third wide receiver of, hey, if there's a way to scheme somebody open, a lot of teams say, well, let's just try to scheme open our worst receiver because our best receivers can try to win down the field. The Rams have a very different mindset. This play, Cooper Kupp's going to run a route to try and get into a gap in coverage towards the top of the screen. You're going to see that Stafford takes the snap. He's going to eventually look towards Kupp and make the throw. And Kupp did a good job route running wise to get himself open too. I'm not trying to say that he was just schemed open. It's more of a mindset thing, as what the Rams now have is the ball in their most talented receiver's hands. Watch as Kupp's going to then do a great job after the catch, picks up even more yards, and it looks easy sometimes of Kupp. Trust me, it isn't, but he makes it look easy, and he's really good at this type of stuff. So this is definitely part of what Kupp can bring, what Kupp brings to the table is just kind of being a great fit for this offense. Like a play like this is another example where it's going to be a zone coverage play, and you have the only receiver who is starting to play lined up on the bottom of the screen, running a deeper route over the middle. What you then do is have Cooper Kupp in motion from the offense's right to the offense's left, and you're going to see the route that he's running. And kind of the idea was the first route can take away the defenders, get them to move over the middle, and then hopefully there'll be no one left to pick up Cooper Kupp. And again, it's kind of a ballsy thing to try this type of stuff, right? And you see the Vikings do it with Justin Jefferson as well. Like, the Rams aren't the only team, but again, part of why the Vikings do that is because Kevin O'Connell's from the Rams coaching tree. But like you see when this play plays out, you're going to see some Washington Commanders type defense here, as no one is anywhere in the ballpark of Cooper Kupp. And again, there's two ways you could look at this. You could look at this and say, hey, if this was some wide receiver 3, like, they might have gotten very open as well. Well, maybe. It's certainly possible. At the same time, though, I don't know, because like Cooper Kupp definitely runs these routes so effectively, and it's essentially saying, hey, we have a good scheme that can get this route to work. Instead of kind of letting our other guys do that and then have our best receiver try to just win when we need him to win on one-on-one, let's have our best receiver do this, and it's going to maximize these already good plays. As you see, well-thrown ball by Stafford, Kupp's obviously going to get a touchdown out of that situation. So, again, very Washington Commanders type defense, but it's set up by Cooper Kupp and by Sean McVay's ability to use Cooper Kupp. At the end of the day, hey, if they work together, who cares who, quote unquote, actually deserves the credit? Also, going over to a play like this is definitely something that's kind of more in line with the kind of typical Cooper Kupp stuff. So you see him on this play, going to be running a curl route. But again, it's not necessarily how he's not exactly what route he's running, and more so how he's running it. So let's see what he does on this play. When it begins, you see that Kupp right here is going to, again, really not give away what he's doing. And I think his route running is just at such a high level that he can really just confuse defenders. It's a 3rd down and 5 right here. So the fact that he's going to be cutting kind of right around the first down marker isn't surprising. However, when he does cut around, you see that Washington player was, very far off of him, and Kupp has the awareness to know where he is, so Kupp is able to cut kind of towards the top of the screen instead of cutting just, backwards, because again, Kupp has to pick up the first down here. But that's what he does, and he really is still doing this at a high level, I think. I think Kupp is kind of showing that he is still the guy he once was. I think he just missed some time. I would really say that's kind of the only thing, when I watch his film, that tends to be what I see with him. And, you can kind of see it by how much Stafford clearly trusts him. Like a play like this, for example, where it's going to be man coverage that the Rams are going against, that the Ravens are in. The Ravens love their man coverage. You see Cooper Kupp's route on this play, but what's really interesting about it is I want to, forget about Cooper Kupp right now. Watch Matt Stafford. As you see, Matthew Stafford, not Matt Stafford, immediate pressure. So he just throws it up, right? The Ravens did what the Ravens do, get a guy unblocked towards the quarterback, because that's, the Ravens are so good at that stuff. So Stafford is just saying, you know what? I got Cooper Kupp one-on-one. Let's see what happens. And for Cooper Kupp, yeah, it's a good strategy. Cooper Kupp is open here. As you see, really well thrown ball. Kupp is able to make the grab and are able to get a touchdown on that one. But again, it's just the confidence that Stafford has in someone like Kupp to, in a situation, just kind of say, you know what, I just trust Kupp is going to win, and he should, because Kupp usually wins. Also, a play like this where it's going to be zone coverage. Again, you see Kupp's route. It almost looks like I'm saying that Stafford's going to run that route with the arrow. No, it's Kupp, who is lined up in the backfield. Yes, Kupp is lined up in the backfield. Like I said, the Rams are very creative in how they use Cooper Kupp. They want to give him as many easy matchups as possible. It's not to say he can't win in tough matchups. Of course he can. He's Cooper Kupp. But why make his job... why not make his job easier? Why not help out your best player? I think about the play that's essentially the bane of my existence as a Buccaneers fan when I was sitting in the stands watching Cooper Kupp break my heart in the divisional round against Tampa Bay to set up the game-winning field goal. If you remember, he was up against a safety on that play because the Rams did a good job of motioning him to the slot, giving him that one-on-one situation. Why am I talking about that? Anyway, back to this play. Watch what happens on this. You're gonna see Stafford takes the snap. He eventually looks in Kupp's direction, but again, the way that Kupp just doesn't give away what he's doing. I mean, people talk about, just a slot receiver. Being a slot receiver is hard. This is not easy to kind of not give away what you're doing. And it's at this point, he's, kind of behind on the play, right? He started in the backfield, so it's going to take him a little bit longer. But watch him cut so quickly, it doesn't matter. Stafford hits him, and he nearly gets a touchdown on that play. A key third down that they were able to convert on. So is Cooper Kupp good? Yeah, I think Cooper Kupp's good. Now, again, I think that the lack of playing time is definitely something that, at a certain point, that still is a negative. You can sit here and say, well, he just keeps getting injured. Well, he keeps getting injured. You have to stay on the field. But when I watch him play, I still see a very good player. I think that you could maybe make the argument that there are times when he isn't quite getting as open as you're used to seeing or getting open as consistently. But I also think part of it too was after that, crazy season where, the 2021 season, there was going to be a pushback. There was going to be, an adjustment to be made about Cooper Kupp. Not every team is Washington who says, that's just a slot receiver. We don't need to cover him. There are going to be teams that pay more attention to him. So I think part of it is that as well. So I don't know if I don't think he's going to get 2,000 yards. I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting him to have the season that he had in 2021. I'm just not. Maybe he will. But do I still think he's a very good player? Do I still think he's a number one, elite level wide receiver? I do. When I watch him play, that is how I still view him. That's kind of what I see. And I think the elite traits he has are still elite traits. So yeah, those are kind of my main thoughts on Cooper Kupp and what he brings to the table. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.